Thank you for listening to the Freddy Show, a podcast devoted to you, the listener, your purpose, your mindset, and your marketing efforts, designed to help you go to that next level. Now here's your host, Freddy.
What is up, everybody? Freddy here, and I'm super excited to have Swire on today, aka the promo guy. Swire, welcome to the Freddy Show.
Thank you for having me on the show, Freddy.
So let's get cracking and jump right into it. Swire, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Swire Ho. I also call myself the promo guy. I'm a promotional product consultant here at Garuda Promo and Branding Solutions. What I do is I help my client grow sales, retain employees, and thank their customer with custom branded products.
Absolutely. And then also I did a little research on you, and you are a proud SFGI certified kettlebell instructor from Strong First. That's pretty awesome. So you're like big into kettlebell workouts?
It's surprisingly, every time that people read my bio, they ask me about that. So I'm definitely keeping that in. But yeah, love training with kettlebell.
You know why they ask you that? It's because training with a kettlebell, especially if you've never used one, it's very painful. And so yeah, I've done kettlebell workouts before, and they really beat you up. And it's just awesome. And you like to meditate, you like gardening and yoga, correct? Which is cool. Yeah. And so you are just seems like a really well-rounded individual. And we're going to talk about like finding the right target audience today, but I want to jump into something that is pretty awesome. And that is your actual business, your GarudaPromo.com. And the reason I want to jump into that is because something that I've seen, especially, I guess I really first noticed it, and it's probably been around a lot longer. You would know this more than I would. But when I got usually back in the day when you ordered something, you got a package in the mail, it was in a brown box, you open it up, there's your stuff. And I remember I got Dollar Shave Club, and they sent the box, and it was like just a slick looking box. Inside it had something that you could read along. I don't know if you're supposed to read it while you're sitting on the john. I don't know. But it was just really a cool setup. And then you see more and more of it. And I think, what do you think as far as like promotional materials, because you're in this game, what is one of the biggest things that you see like a shift when it comes to brands promoting their products?
Well, I'm actually interesting you brought that up. So throughout the pandemic, obviously some of us are not comfortable going out to shop right now. So a lot of us relied on mail orders, right? So direct mailing is making a comeback, and actually a company who normally have events or trade shows, they can't do that for the past 12 months. So they actually been sending a lot packaging out to their client or to their employees. So a lot of mailing, boxing kits that we've been seeing doing. And I think it's here to stay because there are being special, anticipating that something is coming through the mail to you. And I could argue that these sometimes are more effective than you seeing all those ads that you see on Facebook and YouTube. If you have a big old box came to you, then you're going to open it up and see what's inside.
Not only that, if you have somebody over at your house and they see a box that's completely like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it bedazzled, but it's freaking slick looking, branded real well, and it's a good conversation piece, and you get people talking about it. I think it adds a special customer, personal touch to it instead of just a box with a product.
Yeah, exactly. We actually have a fancy term we call it a mini brand advocates. So imagine that, we all know that people being paid, if you're The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, you get paid to use their product. But then for us, probably no one pay us to use their product. But then if we receive something really cool, we are all a journalist. We all have a cell phone here. We'll be taking picture of that cool product, I'll post it on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Maybe I can only influence 10 people, but then that 10 people, I can really move their decision. So think about, us as mini advocates. How can you move people by sending them the right item to promote them to do the right thing that you want them to do?
Yeah, it's not just about the packaging too. You see, like the way a lot of these brands are stepping outside the box. And I'm going to throw something out at you. So we were talking before we started, and I'm going to just start off like thinking like Dr. Squatch. Their commercials are fantastic, a little bit edgy, but they're a lot of fun to watch, and it gets people talking. And I think that's the first thing you want to do. So I was telling you about me and my friend. We're starting Dad Spice, and I would throw this out at you. I want your honest opinion. The tagline right now is Dad Spice, treat your meat right. I had a lot of other taglines that got sort of like pushed down because they were a little bit too edgy, but it's not bad. Treat your meat right. You got to have the right spice on your meat. So, and talk about like we already talked about the packaging, the promo materials, and I'm definitely going to talk to you about that after the show because it's just, I think it adds a flair to it. If somebody were to get the same exact kind of product, one has a box that's, looking freaking slick and the other one's a brown box, I think that the one that's looking real slick, it just shows more like that the company actually cares, the brand cares about their brand.
Well, it depends also on your target audience too. So, obviously we can get more deep into the conversation. Maybe, your target audience like a brown box, or maybe they like a box that with crazy fire in the box, or maybe they like something else. So it is for a company who wanted to get into, let's say, purchasing promotional product. Who are the audience? Who are they? The more that you can tell us about who they are, the better we can find something that is more relevant to people. Because for you and I, we respond to maybe different things. So it's the job of the marketer to find out exactly who we are, what we respond to, and then find an item that will be able to be happy to take a picture and send it onto our social media.
So let's actually dive into that target audience. And I know that we were going to talk about that today as far as finding the right target audience, not just like advertising to everybody, because first of all, if you do that, you can waste a lot of money doing that in advertising. But it's going to make things just a lot easier as far as narrowing down your target audience. For instance, a client that is saying, okay, listen, I want to really narrow down my target audience. How do you help them in that fashion?
Well, I think every company should know, right? And if they don't, look at your accounting system. A good place to start will be who gave you the most business for the past, let's say, 12 months. So these are your top 10 clients. So how well do you know these clients? Do you know maybe there's a title that they all have, or maybe it's an age group, or is it gender, or is it the way that they are positioned in their company? So the more that you know about your target audience, the better then you can see, okay, they're all in sitting at the office every day. They have a lot of meetings, or they like outdoor, or whatever that the example it is. Tell them all to us. So what we can do is we can get access to over 5,000 products, and we go custom route. It could be infinite. So we could basically do any item, but not any item can work for everybody, because sometimes a company want to come in, I want to do something that everybody will love. I wish we have something like that, but then it's very tricky. A pen works for everyone because we all write, but then does a pen work for all the marketing campaign and promotional product? No.
And that's a good point. Now, I actually was referring to if somebody were to start up and as far as them developing, their customer avatar, what's the perfect customer, and do you help them in that type of process? I'm not saying you're not going to tell them what their customer avatar is. But as far as almost troubleshooting it, somebody brand new saying, okay, this is what I like to see. But sometimes, especially with a business owner, that on the marketing side of it, you might be like, that's not the best route. How do you guide them through that path?
Let's use your hot sauce as an example, Freddy. So obviously, from hearing what you're saying, this more likely will be man that likes to do barbecue that can handle spicy. So we are filtering out people who cannot handle spicy, right?
Well, it's a spice. It's a seasoning. But yes, yes,
So they
people.
love barbecue. So for people who doesn't like barbecue, so they're not the audience. So we are now filtering down to more. What else can you tell me about the seasoning?
Well, I can tell you that in most cases, someone who is a vegetarian will not enjoy it. So we're going to knock them out. And I think it's more built around the logo and stuff is built around just your average, dad. And the cool thing is, I was talking to somebody that's going to be doing our shipping, and he's like, I love your SKU, one dad bod. That was the SKU, and I'm like, I just like having fun with this stuff. I like to test it out. But yeah, it's more geared towards, obviously, men, great for Father's Day gifts, stuff like that. And it's just a lot of, I love setting that stuff up and trying to create the customer avatar. But yes, it's not for vegetarians or people that don't like to have a nice big fat juicy steak, but you can season whatever you want to with it. But yeah, you get my drift on that.
Well, so now we are filtering down. So we already rule out the vegetarian, people who don't like barbecue. Do they, can they be a beginner, or you're targeting a pit master type barbecue?
Beginner, just your average dad that just likes to cook and have barbecues with his family. And I think that what we envision it is to, of course, treat your meat right. We can have a play on words in a lot of cases with some of our slogans, but we want to have fun with it because it's sort of like a little side project, but we love the idea, and we know that I know personally that with seeing some brands and how they have portrayed their product, we can go pretty far with this if we want to. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, men, probably families, middle-aged men, or just guys that like to cook. The actual seasoning itself was developed by someone that is a very, very good cook, and it's, he just, somebody is good with food when they talk about their food. They're like, it's just a robust flavor. And I'm like, wow, I just love the way that Josh describes food, and he loves food and he loves seasoning, and that's what the seasoning is all about. Just to make, a regular dad be able to grab this and say, wow, I got dad spice. I'm going to put it on my meat and make a great barbecue. Like you said, pitmaster or somebody, but not master, but anybody that likes to have good barbecue, good food, because it's good stuff. So, but no, I get what you're saying. So target audience, men, male, or, and then you can have like for Father's Day gift, but that's a good thing as far as targeting the right people. You're not going to target dad spice to, in most cases, women, unless it's Father's Day or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, so by asking question and by you just telling me, what you had envisioned, then we already have built kind of a persona that we could pursue. So we know what this group of people will respond to. So we'll think then, in our end, other than barbecue, what else would they do? What else would they use on the grill that you could be, for example, if you're considering branded product, that they might be able to use and to have your brand. So imagine the goal will be to give them a promotional product that when they invite everyone to have the barbecue and then they use your spices and then have them talk about your brand without you paying them. So that will be a campaign that we're pursuing, and then that's something that knowing your buyer persona is able to help you achieve.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. That's one thing I love about marketing is finding the right avenue, but also stepping outside the box and realizing that you don't have to stick to a certain script in a lot of cases. Because not all campaigns work, and the ones that do, you run with it and you do the best you can with it. So 100%. I love, and that's a great idea to get a drink of water because my mouth is parched. So yeah, I got the big jug. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sometimes just asking simple questions that you probably know all the answers already, but by having those questions, then you won't come to us and say we want to target everyone. Because, like you said, it's not everyone don't need your product, only a certain specific group that within your target base. And, there are a lot of dads that do barbecue. I barbecue, right? So, for company else that don't be afraid to go a little bit more narrow. Even for example, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Walmart, they don't target everyone. They have lots of money, but then they still don't target everyone. They know who their target audience will be. So for a company who are considering a marketing campaign, definitely, like you said, decide on who the buyer persona is first, and then ask question, and then you can actually answer with key point who they are and how you can actually go about targeting them. And let's go deeper. How would these fathers, barbecue people, find out about new information on the grill? For example, they might go to, let's say, a hardware store, or maybe they will be as a supermarket, or maybe a Facebook group if they're looking for recipes, right, for having a better steak. So these will be, area that you might want to try to be in front of, and maybe not going on Instagram, maybe Pinterest, because that might not be a lot of recipes for getting a good steak. So just, then you can also answer a question, where should I be with this group of target audience? Because with different target audience, you might have to go to different route to be in front of them.
Absolutely. And it's more so like building a customer avatar. I think when you first start building it, and then as you, I guess, go along, it can change, and you can change with it, and realize that sometimes you might have to switch it up, because you probably deal with packaging, correct?
Yeah.
And have you seen like a company that you were dealing with, and then all of a sudden they said, "Hey, well, listen, we want to change our packaging because of this"?
Sometimes, companies do rebranding. It helps to keep it fresh, or maybe they have a different mission, or they have a new product. So that's, when they will do rebranding. So you might have the nice logo, but then maybe update the color for a little bit. For a good example is Google has been rebranding a couple of times already. They spend millions, right, doing that, but then it looks very similar. It's just a slight update on the word Google, but then it's still meaning that it matters. Maybe it's changing with their shifting. So. And it's fun, right, to getting something new and know that you're staying on trend and your clients.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that, so you actually, your business, you not only just sell them products, you help guide them in the right direction.
Well, we like to think it that way. We have open conversation. I like to ask them a lot of questions because they know the answer already. It's me having the right question to bring out what they already have known, because they are the product expert. But then sometimes when they go to marketing, again, I wanted to guide them to the right direction. So, then we provide the right solutions for them.
And you have 5,000 products that you can help them with their marketing and branding. Is that what you said?
Out every day.
Yeah, so basically GarudaPromo.com, GARUDA promo.com. Make sure you guys visit his site. And real quick, with the targeting and with the talking about that, and with the actual promotional materials, is there a question that I have not asked you that you would have asked yourself right now already? I just want to make sure I covered all the bases.
I think we be okay to go narrow, and if you think you are at a very niche, especially after the pandemic, think bigger. Maybe you have exhausted all your market in your local area. Think about nationwide. Think about worldwide. There are a lot of people. I'm even going to put it this way: if you're weird in a good way, there's actually a lot of people who are drawn to weirdness. So you can actually, in the YouTube time, you can be a big YouTuber being weird. So don't be afraid to learn your market and know your market, and then you answer your own question and how you can market to this target audience.
Awesome. So guys, make sure you check out the show notes and actually be able to connect with Swire and everything that he has to offer. Are you ready for the super fast Q&A round? I have to make sure you're ready for this.
I'll try.
Okay, here we go. So you've been given an elephant. You can't get rid of it. What would you do with it?
I'll take it to Home Depot and don't need to rent a truck.
Okay. I don't know if they'd allow you to do that, but it's a good possibility. Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Unlimited sushi.
Okay. I like sushi. I like tacos too. I like wasabi. How do you think the world would be different if bananas were illegal?
Illegal?
Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know that one.
Oh, and Siri, Alexa just tried to answer that. So,
I'll eat avocado.
avocados. If you could be best friends with a celebrity, who would it be?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why?
Just like the story, I'm an immigrant myself, and he is in 3 different careers, and then he is able to go to the very top of each career that he chosen.
True, very true. And if you could use only one word for the rest of your life, what word would you choose?
Relax.
That's a perfect word for this world right now. Relax. Just say relax. So awesome. I truly appreciate you being on today. Real quick, one last shout out to the Freddy O Show fan that you feel that could have an impact on them today, right now.
Is to just to try it. If you're thinking about doing something, it's now better than ever to try something new.
That's great advice. Swire, thank you so much for being on the Freddy O Show. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Freddy.